Hi, everyone. The observation that I have identified a gap in Earth systems is private wells here in North Carolina. The reason for this identification is the fact that private wells are not monitored the same way that public water systems are monitored for contaminations. So, how are we able to protect groundwater resources if we're not viewing all sources and all connections of that groundwater? What's missing and why does it matter? Well, groundwater contaminations at a biosphere level um, hurt people, hurt agriculture, hurt wildlife. It's very important. Well water, as of now, are tested by homeowners when they first get their home and at their leisure, but it is not a standardized plan, so it's very inconsistent. And also, even if the water is being tested by the homeowners, that data is not being shared with other people or other parties. So why does it matter? Well, the researchers, the scientists that are testing these public water systems do not know if a contamination happens, and they are not able to identify and track the trends. So this puts public health at risk, and this is something that is unacceptable. Um, these contaminations can fly under the radar, and these changes can be missed for a very long time if they're ever even caught. Chapter 5 goes into great detail about different things that are helping with the understanding of collaborating. And so, Chapter 5, subsection 5.1 explains that Earth systems observations must be coordinated and standardized. So this means, coordinating meaning getting all the groups together, and standardized meaning putting it into one type of data platform that can then be shared and understood by all. So that is, very important. Subsection 5.2 talks about collaboration, and so the collaborating of scientists is very important with collaborating all of the data that they have come up with. And also, chapter 5.3 emphasizes the observation systems, such as archiving and sharing of that data. So all these parts in chapter 5 show how important it is that this data is collected and shared. What would be a realistic fix for this? Regular testing of private wells. How can we make it happen? Well, we'll get into that. It needs to be affordable. They need to be able to disperse this information to local universities to be able to be tested, or public health departments, so that the stuff can be tested. What are the most important areas would be like the rural counties. Like I live in Rougemont, and so areas like mine where we live off of these private wells that are not being tested. So I think it would be the creation of a data sharing plan is needed in order to be able to create a statewide database, and then allowing something like a public dashboard or public information, ways that the public can access this information, um, in order to be able to get a better understanding of their water quality. As far as a timeline, I think that the first thing would be identifying um, what counties could we maybe do a pilot project from, what homeowners could be recruited, and also creating standards for quality control measurements to make sure that everything is standardized within 1 year. That's when we could begin annual testing and launching that shared database. And then within 2 years, being able to expand statewide, because of the hopeful success that it is happening, and being able to now have enough data to start creating trend maps. Limitations would be the costs. There's thousands of wells, and so they would need to install monitoring systems into these wells. and participation by homeowners may be limited, but I think can be encouraged. Solution for this is, start with the high risk areas and then disperse out. Think about things like partnerships and grants that could also assist with this. Um, what would this look like in the end? The success would be a more holistic view of groundwater observations and monitoring of contaminations that may take place and are able to protect all of us in this wonderful state of North Carolina. An open ended question, I would say, is how do we encourage long term participation? Well, again, as I had mentioned with these grants and, different utilizations of how can we get these homeowners, if the more affordable and the more readily available you make it to homeowners, the more they'd be willing to accept it. So I think the question would be, getting this enacted and getting that participation to happen. Thank you.